Thank you so much, Johanna. It's really absolute pleasure to be part of this discussion. I am Aida Brankovic, research scientist with CSIRO Australian eHealth Research Centre. Just a bit about my background. I was born in Bosnia and Herzegovina, where I got my bachelor and master degree from the University of Sarajevo. After short industry experience after graduation, I did my PhD at Politecnico di Milano in Italy. And did also my postdoc there before moving to Australia and starting my second postdoc. So today I will be talking about challenges in research commercialization from the researcher perspective. Before I start, I would like just to acknowledge the Yagera people and pay my respect to their elder past and present. So after moving to Australia for my postdoc, I had the great opportunity to work on research projects that were actually going commercialization pathway. At the University of Queensland, I had an opportunity to work on research that was developing novel technology for brain scanning. And as such, it was devised undergoing traditional commercialization pathway. At the current position with CSIRO, I'm developing the algorithms, and as such, this work is going non-traditional commercialization pathway, where we are basically looking for innovative ways such as health apps to commercialize these algorithms. This slide aims to depict main steps common for both traditional and non-traditional commercialization pathway, starting from answering the research question. Interesting phase is the second phase, development and feasibility, where different game participants are also joining the research, including the investors, advisory boards, and other partners. And this stage includes prototyping, testing, and feasibility documentation. I would like here to pay attention to feasibility documentation, because that is the segment of the commercialization process that can remarkably impact the commercialization process in terms of the time. Now, I would like to talk about challenges. Please, next slide. To talk about challenges within this process, to be more objective and to prevent any personal biases. I also, while preparing this presentation, talked to some other colleagues from different fields who are also undergoing commercialization process within their research. So one of the challenges, especially for Australia, is hardware development. That is because here in Australia, we don't have strong manufacturing industry, and we strongly rely on China and Japan, which add costs and also slows down the development process. Another thing is emerging regulations for software, especially AI and all these things that it brought with itself. Another thing that is kind of obstacle on the way is communication issues that I noticed between the industry partners and researchers, simply different frequencies in which they are thinking. I think the industry and the investor in general are oversimplifying research process in sense that they are perceiving it linearly, though it is not very non-linear process. On another hand, we have researchers that are too much focused on research itself, causing less imperative on manufacturing processes and QMS requirements. Another obstacle is sharing IP irrespectively of the level. It can lead to the breakdown of the project, even breakdown of the team if we look at the lower level. And there is a strong dependence on connection in the research areas. As a young scientist or early career researcher, typically to work out your idea or start the commercialization, probably you would have to look for somebody much more senior, much more powerful with a stronger connection in order to kick off realization of your idea. Otherwise, it is quite likely to fail because you will not have much trust in what you are doing. And in general, there is also a high risk. The people who were like generators of the idea or innovation may also fall off during this path. And lastly, like in general, irrespectively of the career point at which you are, it is quite hard to get the investors. Can we please go to the next slide? So what can be improved? First of all, it would be fantastic if we could improve manufacturing to support the local innovation. If we could ensure that the regulations are keeping pace with the tech development, if we could establish effective collaboration between the researchers and industry or partners by ensuring identification of common goals and transparent communication, meaning that researchers should not be afraid to say when there is a problem, and the industry partners should be happy to hear this news as well as good news. If we could organize networking events, what I mean by this is to establish kind of the culture where we will have events for the freshly graduated PhDs or early career researchers, where they will have chance to present their idea, their project. It would be like a mingling event between the investors, industry partners and the researchers, and to provide the trainings and commercialization pathway. CSIRO is doing great in this sense. I mean, we are having trainings on documentation and regulation requirements, which helps a lot in ramping up the commercialization process. That's all from me.